investigating a unique ecosystem on a partially terraformed moon. No rigid hierarchies, no formal protocols, just pure collective problem-solving. A small swarm of research drones buzzed around the team, collecting environmental data. Each drone moved with an intelligence that seemed almost alive, communicating in a complex network of shared information. Minho controlled them not through commands, but through a neural interface that felt more like conversation than instruction. There, Rover, a biomechanical marvel of engineering, adapted to the moon's challenging terrain. It wasn't just a machine, but a living extension of the team's collective intelligence. When a sudden radiation storm approached, the vehicle's adaptive systems kicked in, creating a protective shield that integrated data from multiple sources. Hana watched in amazement. In her civilization, such a mission would involve layers of bureaucratic approval, rigid command structures, and minimal flexibility. Here the team moved like a single organism, each member contributing, each idea valued. During a lunch break, they shared food from different cultural backgrounds. A robotic nutrition analyzer ensured balanced dietary requirements, but the conversation was what truly nourished them. Stories, jokes, passionate discussions about their research. No ranks, no formal titles, just pure human connection. An unexpected technical challenge emerged. A critical sensor network began malfunctioning. Instead of panic or blame, the team gathered around a holographic display, their minds connecting like a living neural network. Jisoo suggested a biological approach. Minho proposed a technological solution. The third team member, a quantum physicist named Yoon, found a way to integrate both perspectives. Hana, initially feeling like an outsider, found herself contributing observations from her own technological background. Hours passed like moments. The moon's alien landscape became a canvas of human potential. Robotic assistants worked alongside human researchers, not as tools but as collaborative partners. As night fell, the team's living quarters transformed. Holographic windows displayed the moon's exotic landscape. A collective meal preparation began, each member contributing, each moment a celebration of shared effort. Hana realized something profound was happening. This wasn't just about technological exchange. This was about understanding a fundamental approach to existence itself. A quantum communication device suddenly lit up. An unexpected challenge was emerging in a distant research colony, a complex ecological disruption that threatened an entire settlement. Instead of sending a military response or a bureaucratic investigation team, this group began collaborative problem-solving in real time. Robotic companions moved through the living space, not as servants, but as integrated team members. One particular robot, painted with vibrant abstract designs, seemed to understand emotional nuances, offering subtle support during moments of complexity. As the night deepened, Hana understood that human potential wasn't about individual brilliance. It was about collective imagination. Their strength wasn't in perfection, but in adaptability. The moon outside continued its silent rotation. Distant stars twinkled with possibilities, and here, in this small research station, something extraordinary was happening. A reimagining of what collaboration could truly mean. No hierarchies, no rigid boundaries, just pure collective human potential. Thanks for listening. The royal chamber trembled with an energy never before experienced in centuries of galactic governance. Princess Hana stood before the ancient council, her presence radiating a transformation that would shake the very foundations of their civilization. Holographic displays erupted with images from her human experience, collaborative research missions, community problem-solving, adaptive technological innovations. The crystalline walls of the royal chamber seemed to vibrate with the potential of new ideas. "We have been wrong," Hana declared, her voice cutting through millennia of traditional diplomatic protocol. Robotic archivists captured every moment, their quantum processors struggling to process the radical nature of her presentation. Behind her, a massive display showed human communities, not as conquered territories but as living, breathing ecosystems of innovation. The senior royal advisors shifted uncomfortably, Their biomechanical implants sparked with confusion and resistance. Generations of hierarchical thinking were being challenged in a single moment. A quantum-enhanced communication device projected real-time translations of Hana's speech across multiple star systems. Each word carried the potential to redefine galactic understanding. "Our strength is not in maintaining control," she continued. "Our strength is in collective potential." The chamber's environmental systems began to respond to her emotional intensity. Adaptive light patterns shifted, creating a visual representation of her revolutionary ideas. Robotic assistants moved with unprecedented autonomy, their movements suggesting a deeper understanding of collaborative potential. Images of human research stations flickered, teams solving complex ecological challenges, communities responding to unexpected cosmic events with unprecedented coordination. No rigid hierarchies, no formal ranks, just pure adaptive human potential. A senior council member attempted to interrupt. Before he could speak, Hana activated a holographic demonstration that showed multiple scenarios of problem-solving. Where traditional approaches would fail, human collaborative methods found innovative solutions. The quantum communication network began to pulse with excitement. Distant research colonies, monitoring the transmission, realized something extraordinary was happening. Hana's proposal was simple yet revolutionary. Restructure the entire royal governance system. Replace rigid hierarchies with adaptive collaborative frameworks. Create systems that valued individual potential while promoting collective growth. Robotic diplomatic interfaces began processing. The implications. This wasn't just a policy change. This was a fundamental reimagining of social structure. A holographic projection showed potential outcomes. Entire star systems could be transformed. Resources could be shared. Challenges could be met with unprecedented creativity. The Royal Chamber's ancient technology seemed to breathe with new possibility. Centuries-old communication systems upgraded in real time, adapting to the radical new vision. "We will create research communities," Hana explained, "not controlled spaces, living, breathing ecosystems of innovation." Distant planetary colonies began receiving the transmission. Robotic communication networks translated her words into multiple linguistic and cultural contexts. The senior advisor's biomechanical implants began to malfunction. Their neural networks struggled to process such a radical approach to governance. But something deeper was happening, a fundamental shift in understanding. A small quantum-enhanced robot rolled forward, projecting additional contextual information. Images of human collaborative achievements began filling the chamber. Scientific breakthroughs, ecological restoration projects, community innovations that defied conventional understanding. Hana's final demonstration was her most powerful. She showed how human potential wasn't about individual brilliance, but about collective imagination. Their strength wasn't in conquest, but in adaptability. The Royal Chamber became a universe of possibility. Holographic displays showed potential. Governance models that valued diversity, creativity, and collective problem-solving. Outside, distant star systems watched and waited. The transmission continued, carrying the potential to reshape galactic civilization. No conquest, no domination. Just a profound reimagining of what collective potential could truly mean. The universe outside continued its eternal dance. Cosmic. Winds carried the whispers of a new possibility, and everything was about to change. Thanks for listening. A massive holographic globe showed ongoing human exploration projects. Tiny drone swarms were mapping unexplored regions of distant planets, collecting data with unprecedented precision. Each drone worked as part of a collective intelligence, sharing information instantaneously. As the tour concluded, Hana realized something profound. Human potential wasn't about individual brilliance, but about collective imagination. Their strength wasn't in rigid hierarchy, but in flexible, adaptive collaboration. The royal delegation watched in silent amazement. These humans weren't just another alien civilization, they were something entirely unprecedented in galactic history. David's final demonstration showed a complex problem-solving scenario where traditional approaches would have failed. The human Team didn't just solve the problem, they reimagined the entire concept of problem solving. "We don't see obstacles," David said with a smile. "We see opportunities." As the simulation ended, the entire research facility erupted in collaborative celebration, not of individual achievement, but of collective potential. Thanks for listening. The conference room hummed with tension as David leaned forward, his proposal hanging in the air like a delicate cosmic thread. Princess Hana's royal advisors shifted uncomfortably, their crystalline exoskeletons reflecting the holographic displays that surrounded them. "I propose something unprecedented," David said, his voice calm but charged with an electric possibility. Outside, the massive viewscreen, distant planetary systems swirled, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that existed beyond traditional diplomatic protocols. Robotic translation devices buzzed softly, converting every nuanced word into multiple alien languages. A holographic projection materialized, showing various human community environments, not military bases or sterile research facilities, but living, breathing ecosystems of human interaction. Small settlements on terraformed planets, research colonies, collaborative living spaces that defied conventional understanding of social structures. "You'll live among us," David continued, "not as a diplomat, not as an observer, but as a participant." The proposal was radical. A royal princess, bred for generations of diplomatic isolation, would immerse herself completely in human society. No special treatments, no royal privileges, just pure, unfiltered human experience. The royal delegation's communication implants began overheating from the sheer audacity of the suggestion. Their neural networks struggled to process such an unconventional approach to cultural exchange. A small quantum-enhanced robotic assistant rolled closer to David, projecting additional contextual information. Images of human communities flickered, scientists working together, farmers collaborating on sustainable agriculture, artists creating collective masterpieces that transcended individual creativity. Hana's initial reaction was pure diplomatic. Rejection. Generations of royal training screamed against such a proposal. But something deeper, a curiosity that had been awakened during their previous encounters, made her pause. The robotic assistant began displaying potential scenarios, not clinical simulations, but living, breathing representations of human potential. A research team solving a complex environmental challenge, a community responding to a natural disaster, with unprecedented coordination. Children from different backgrounds learning together, their collective creativity breaking down every conventional educational barrier. "We don't want to impress you," David explained. "We want you to understand us." The proposal wasn't just a diplomatic exercise. It was an invitation to reimagine existence itself. Holographic displays began showing the potential learning outcomes, not just technological exchanges, but profound cultural transformations. The robot companion started translating subtle, emotional nuances, something no traditional diplomatic protocol could ever capture. A distant alarm suggested an incoming asteroid cluster, but instead of panic, the human team around David began collaborative problem-solving. No hierarchical commands, just fluid, adaptive thinking. Hana watched as David's team transformed a potential threat into an opportunity for scientific exploration. They weren't just avoiding danger, they were finding value in the unexpected. The royal advisors began transmitting urgent neural warnings. This was beyond any established diplomatic protocol. This was dangerous, unpredictable. But danger, the humans seemed to suggest, was just another word for opportunity. The quantum robot projected potential outcomes, millions of scenarios showing how this radical proposal could reshape galactic understanding, not through conquest but through genuine, unfiltered cultural exchange. 1 month, David said. Complete immersion. No royal privileges, just pure human experience. The conference room became a universe of possibility. Holographic displays showed potential living environments, collaborative research stations, community settlements, educational centers where learning was a collective, dynamic process. Hana's royal training battled with an emerging curiosity. Everything she knew about diplomacy, about existence itself, was being challenged. The robotic assistant projected a final image, a diverse group of humans working together, their differences becoming their greatest strength. No ranks, no hierarchy, just pure collaborative potential. David waited, not with arrogance, not with pressure, but with an open invitation to reimagine everything. The universe outside continued its eternal dance. Distant galaxies twinkled. Cosmic winds carried the whispers of infinite possibilities, and in that moment, everything could change. Thanks for listening. The morning light filtered through the research station's biodome, casting a soft glow on the community living quarters. Princess Hana found herself in a world completely unlike her royal upbringing, a small shared living space with 3 other researchers from entirely different backgrounds. Jisoo, a marine biologist, was preparing breakfast. Her robotic kitchen assistant moved with precision, creating a meal that looked more like an art form than simple nutrition. Nearby, Minho, an environmental engineer, was reviewing holographic data about ocean restoration projects on a distant colony world. "Your turn for cleaning," Jisoo said casually to Hana, as if she were any other roommate. The concept was revolutionary. A royal princess doing mundane household chores? Impossible. And yet, here she was, learning to work alongside others as an equal. The day began with a collaborative research mission. Their team was... The massive starship Celestial Horizon glided through the cosmic darkness, its crystalline hull reflecting distant starlight. Princess Hana Park stood at the observation deck, her slender fingers tracing the holographic star charts. The diplomatic mission to the human colony felt like another mundane assignment in her centuries-old royal lineage. Suddenly, alarms blared. Robotic defense systems hummed to life, their metallic tendrils extending from hidden compartments. Outside the viewport, an unexpected asteroid field began to shift, not naturally, but with an intelligence that suggested something more. "Incoming." "Transmission," announced the ship's AI in a calm, modulated voice. David Kim's face appeared on the communication screen. Unlike typical diplomatic representatives, he wore a simple grey jumpsuit with a patch showing an Earth-based research organization. His eyes carried a mix of curiosity and unexpected confidence. "We noticed your ship's trajectory might intersect with some unstable asteroid clusters," David said, his fingers dancing across unseen control panels. "Mind if we provide some assistance?" Before Princess Hana could respond, a series of precise energy pulses erupted from nearby human reconnaissance drones. The asteroids, which moments ago seemed threatening, began to break apart in controlled patterns. It was less destruction, and more like an intricate cosmic dance. The human technology was different, not aggressive, but incredibly precise. Where her civilization would have deployed massive destructive weapons, these humans used surgical technological interventions. "Impressive navigation," Hana remarked, genuinely surprised. David chuckled. "Just another day at the office. We've been mapping these regions for years. Destruction is expensive. Precision is efficient." As the asteroids dispersed, a small robotic probe from the human fleet connected with Hana's ship. The probe wasn't just a communication device. It was a complex data exchange mechanism that seamlessly integrated with their systems, sharing navigational details, potential hazard information, and even subtle cultural exchange protocols. The ship's interior began transforming. Holographic displays showed real-time data about the surrounding space, asteroid composition, potential resource extraction points, and even micro-meteorological predictions. It was like the entire universe had suddenly become readable, comprehensible. Alien crew members, some with biomechanical augmentations, others with exotic skin tones and multiple eyes, watched in silent amazement. The human technological approach was neither invasive nor primitive. It was elegant. David continued explaining the region's complexities. He spoke about asteroid mining, potential colonization strategies, and interstellar ecology with a passion that transcended typical bureaucratic communication. His words weren't just information, they were a narrative about human potential. small robotic companion, looking like a cross between a mechanical bird and a quantum computer, hovered near David, occasionally projecting additional data or translating complex scientific terms into more digestible language. "We're not here to conquer," David said, reading the subtle diplomatic tensions. "We're here to understand, to collaborate, to learn." Princess Hana realized something profound was happening. This wasn't just a routine diplomatic encounter. This was a moment where two completely different civilizations were finding an unexpected common ground. The human technology didn't just solve problems, it reimagined possibilities. Where her royal civilization saw obstacles, humans saw opportunities. Where her people relied on ancient protocols, humans created dynamic solutions. Outside, the starscape continued its eternal dance. Distant galaxies twinkled, alien nebulae swirled, and somewhere in this vast cosmic canvas, two civilizations were about to write a new chapter of interstellar understanding. The celestial horizon continued its journey, now accompanied by human reconnaissance vessels, not as escorts, not as threats, but as collaborative partners in an infinite, mysterious universe. David's final words lingered in the communication channel. "Welcome to human space. We've been expecting you. Thanks for listening." The human research station buzzed with an energy that Princess Hana had never experienced before. Holographic displays danced with complex algorithms, while teams of researchers from diverse backgrounds worked together in a symphony of collaboration that defied everything she understood about organizational structure. David guided her through the facility, each section more fascinating than the last. Robotic assistants moved with fluid grace, not as servants but as integrated team members. In one laboratory, a group of scientists were solving a complex quantum entanglement problem, not through hierarchical dictation, but through an open dialogue that seemed almost chaotic yet incredibly precise. "Watch this," David said, pointing to a massive holographic display. A team of 5 researchers, each from a different background, age group, and specialization, began tackling an impossible-looking mathematical challenge. They didn't compete, they collaborated. One would suggest an approach, another would build upon it, a third would challenge the concept, and somehow, miraculously, they would converge on a solution that none could have reached alone. Alien technology, from various recovered spacecraft, lay scattered across specialized examination areas. But unlike the rigid analysis Hana was accustomed to, these humans approached each artifact with a combination of scientific rigor and creative imagination. Small robotic drone, seemingly sentient, rolled up to a complex alien engine. Its mechanical arms moved with a curiosity that almost seemed emotional. Nearby, a young researcher named Jin laughed, explaining how they were teaching machines to understand context, not just process data. "Our strength isn't in perfection," Jin explained, "it's in adaptability." A massive holographic simulation suddenly erupted in the central chamber. It showed multiple scenarios of potential galactic conflicts, but instead of focusing on destruction, the human models demonstrated diplomatic solutions, resource sharing, and collaborative problem-solving. Hana watched as her royal training began to crack. These humans weren't just technologically advanced, they were fundamentally different in their approach to existence. In another section, a group of engineers worked on a biomechanical interface that could potentially heal entire ecosystems. Their prototype combined genetic engineering, nanotechnology, and an almost spiritual understanding of environmental interconnectedness. A veteran researcher named Park, no relation to Hana, demonstrated a neural interface that could translate complex emotional states across different species. "Communication isn't just about language," he explained. "It's about understanding." Robotic companions moved between human researchers, not as tools, but as partners. Some had personalities that seemed to adapt and learn in real time. One particular robot, painted with colorful abstract designs, seemed to crack jokes and provide emotional support to the research team. David showed her a breakthrough in interstellar communication technology. Unlike the rigid communication protocols of her civilization, humans had developed a system that could adapt to unknown linguistic and emotional contexts. "We don't just want to communicate," David said. "We want to understand." The facility wasn't just a research center. It was a living, breathing ecosystem of innovation. Researchers from different disciplines, biology, quantum physics, cultural anthropology, engineering, worked together in a way that seemed almost magical.